Good afternoon. Welcome to another segment of the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Today is Saturday, June the 25th, 2016. I want to start off, I'm going to talk about two teams today that in the NBA in particular. But I want to first start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to congratulate the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James and Dan Gilbert and on basically winning they won the title, the championship, Game 7 on Sunday, this past Sunday. And I already predicted, I actually said that I believed that they was going to win. And the reason that I felt that way is because for a number of reasons. Number one, even though the Warriors was at home for a Game 7, in this particular case, when you were up 3-1, when you got arguably, if not the best player on the planet in LeBron James, you got to put that team away. And when they lost Game 5, I said to a friend then, I felt the series had shifted back to Cleveland's favor because I already knew they wasn't losing a Game 6, Cleveland. They wasn't losing Game 6 at home. And then that means it was going to come down to a Game 7. And in a Game 7, in a winner-take-all, I always tend to go with the team that has the best player. In a winner-take-all, my rule is go with the team that has the best player because usually he gets it done, especially when he's won titles before. So this is going to be an interesting period here for Cleveland because this is a team that can easily win another title. And we could talk about LeBron James and his importance, and he was very, very important, and rightfully so, he was the MVP. But I'm going to tell you, they had another MVP on that team. And he could have just as easily won the MVP. Okay? Because this person, his game, ever since really Game 3 is when it switched for him. He caught it. And that's Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving outplayed anyone else on the Warriors, on the other side. He was really the big difference maker. Because without Kyrie's effort, LeBron don't have this ring today. I mean, listen, there were others who contributed. A lot of other players contributed. But LeBron needed that sidekick. Once he got that sidekick, that was basically all LeBron needed now for them to take it home. And here's the thing. Kyrie is young. Now folks can understand why he chose to leave Miami for Cleveland. Yes, Dwayne Wade is his boy. There's no disputing that. Okay? Dwayne Wade's his boy. There's no disputing that. Okay? He liked that Miami team. It was a nice team, but it was an older team. Here, Cleveland with a young Kyrie Irving, a young Tristan Thompson. They had some pieces that LeBron said, I can win with. And I can win a lot longer with. Because why? These guys haven't even reached their prime yet. That's how good they are. And Kyrie in particular. This is a kid who can win MVP. It wouldn't shock me if he won MVP next year. I think what this guy has done, he's taken his game to a whole new level. I wasn't certain going into this season he was a superstar. Because they tend to throw that word around a lot in the NBA. Who's a superstar and who isn't? And a lot of players that they have they have as quote-unquote superstars. I don't really consider them superstars. I consider them stars, or very, very good players, but not really great players. Kyrie's a great player. Kyrie is a superstar. You saw that in the finals, folks. He outplayed the two-time MVP, consecutive, the last two MVP champions. He outplayed them. He outplayed them in the finals. That was the difference, folks. That was the difference. Now, I think he's only going to get better. I think barring injuries, the sky's the limit for this guy. So I say watch out for Cleveland in the next couple of years because I think they're going to be winning more titles, more championships. Now, for Golden State, it was a disappointment. There's no disputing that, okay? When you win 73 games, win the amount of games that they won in the regular season, the most wins in regular season history, this, that, and the other, you have to cap it off with a championship. It's just like the '07 Patriots. You're no different. When the Patriots went undefeated in the regular season, but when they lost in the Super Bowl, I mean, you didn't finish the job. So that is a disappointment. But I'm going to explain something to you. Here's why I think this was good for Golden State. I think Golden State was getting a little sloppy in their play. They're too reliant on the three-point shot. It's like they consider the two a necessary evil. And that's not the way you play the game. Okay? You see, there was opportunities to take the ball to the basket, and they settled too much for the three-point shot. And I blame Curry, who's the point guard, and I blame Kerr. Because as the head coach, because it's your job, you two guys' job is to make certain that the team gets the message, take the ball to the hoop. But Kyrie failed to do that. There was a possession when Kyrie hit that three, okay? There was 50 seconds remaining. And this was like just a microcosm of what I'm talking about here. Golden State did not call the timeout. They immediately pushed the ball down. Now, Curry got the ball. Curry wasted 20 out of the 50 seconds, folks. He wasted about 20 seconds trying to get off a three-point shot. Do you know you could have gotten almost 3 possessions within that 50 seconds? You can get almost 3 possessions. If you play it right, you can get about 3 possessions in 50 seconds. But instead, you really only ended up with 2. One when the game was still in doubt. Because once Cleveland went up 4 with 10 seconds, you just wasn't winning that. But so you really only got 1 real possession out of that 50 seconds. That's inexcusable. And Kevin Love, who's not really a great defender, the reason he was able to basically stay with Curry was because Curry wouldn't get off that three-point line. And everyone on Cleveland knew what Curry and them was wanting to do, shoot the 3. Cleveland overplayed the 3. They was willing to give you the 2, but Curry wouldn't take it. And this is what I mean by the Golden State being too reliant on the three-point shot. That's an exact microcosm of what I've been talking about. That's their problem right there. Drive the ball to the basket. If you had drove the ball to the basket, you might have got the help, which now you can kick it out for somebody who has an open 3, rather than forcing up a 3. Or if the help didn't come, you just have an easy layup. Because there was no way that Kevin Love was going to be able to stay with Curry if Curry had just drove the ball to the hoop. Curry's too quick. But instead, he tried to force the 3, and he ended up forcing up a bad shot. Once the Cleveland got the rebound, that was the game right there. That was the game. At that point, that was the game. So I think Golden State, what they need to do is the next season, okay, don't make no drastic changes this offseason. There is no need for you to go get Kevin Durant. You don't need Durant. And I'll get to Durant in a minute. But you just need to keep the team you got. The team you got can win a title. Because you've already won one a year ago. And you was within 1 game of winning another one. So you can win another title. So there's no need to break this team up. What you just need to do is get back to what we call the fundamentals, the basics, which is what you got away from in these playoffs. Really, you got away from it all season long because you basically was just jacking up, hoisting a lot of 3s. Okay, go back to driving the ball, taking it to the basket. Get a lot of easy baskets. Okay? So now that takes care of that. Now this brings me now to Kevin Durant. And I'm going to say this to Kevin. See, first of all, now he's a free agent this offseason. And I know that there's really, to me, it comes down to forget all those other teams. He's not really seriously considering Miami or Boston or the Knicks or the Lakers. He's not considering those teams, so I'm not even going to bring them into the conversation. There is another team I'm going to bring into the conversation, but not those teams. But there's 2 teams that is really serious in the running. I don't think San Antonio is. Let me include them. 3 teams. San Antonio, OKC, the team he currently plays for, and Golden State. Out of all three teams, to me, he's best staying where he's at, OKC. Because San Antonio, they got a Kawhi Leonard. They already got a player who plays Durant's position, so they don't really need Durant. Kawhi Leonard is a star. Okay? To me, they don't need Durant. Golden State don't need Durant. Matter of fact, I don't think it's even a good fit. Because I'm hearing some people in the media, this shows you the ignorance of some people in the media. Oh, just swap out Harrison Barnes for Kevin Durant. But it's not that simple. Harrison Barnes makes how much? What, 10? 8, 10 million? Kevin Durant's going to demand over 20. So for Kevin Durant to come to Golden State, here's what you're going to have to do if you go to State. You're going to have to obviously get rid of Harrison Barnes, but that's a loss. You can live with that loss. But here's the problem. You also got to get rid of guys like Andre Iguodala, an important sixth man off the bench. So you're going to weaken your bench to bring in another starter that you don't really need. And then you're going to have to get rid of the center there, Andrew Bogut. You're going to have to get rid of him for salary-wise to make this work. So you're going to weaken the interior so you can sign Kevin Durant to a max deal. Now, here's the question that I have. How are you going to strengthen the interior? Because you're going to have to do that now. And secondly, who's going to sacrifice their game? Because there's three guys who mainly takes the shot on Golden State. Stephen Curry, Tristan Thompson. Okay? No, I'm sorry, not Tristan. Thompson. And then you got Green, Draymond Green. Klay Thompson. That's the person I was thinking. Klay Thompson, not Tristan. I apologize. And Draymond Green. Those three players take the bulk of the shots on Golden State. One of those three is going to have to sacrifice taking the shots for Kevin Durant. So really, I don't see where Kevin Durant really helps Golden State. And I already said he doesn't really help San Antonio. The team he helps is OKC. Because up until a few days ago, the only thing they was really lacking was an off guard, a shooting guard who could actually shoot the ball. But then they just went and they made a trade to get Oladipo. And that, to me, was a very, very good move because he can shoot the ball. He can score. Now, if Durant was going to leave OKC, I'm going to tell you the team he should have went to. The team he would have fit very well with if outside of OKC. And it doesn't require anyone to change their games. He would be playing with a top 10 point guard in the league. He would be playing with a top 10 shooting guard in the league. And they got pretty decent players down low. So that means if no one would have had to change their game, it would have flowed seamlessly, in my opinion. Not only that, it would make them immediately the second best team in the East who could actually compete with Cleveland. They could even beat Cleveland the way that lineup would be set. And that would be Washington. If I was Durant and I'm leaving OKC, though I'm saying he should not leave OKC, but if he's going to leave OKC, the team to really go to is not Golden State. Because again, fit. Not San Antonio. Because again, fit. But Washington. Because you'll be playing with a true pure point guard in John Wall. You'll be playing with a true shooting guard / scorer in Bradley Beal. That would be a big three right there, and Durant. But Durant's not considering Washington for whatever reason. I think, if you're going to leave OKC, then to me, Washington should be the destination. Though I feel he should stay in OKC. Now this brings me to the Derrick Rose and the New York Knickerbockers. Okay. Let me say this. It was a trade. Obviously, Chicago was trying to unload Derrick Rose, mainly because salary reasons. Second, fit reasons. Because the new leader of that team Okay, Chicago wanted to move on. They wanted to basically make Jimmy Butler the focus of that team. And that's not a bad strategy, especially given Rose's injury history. I understand why they did what they did. Personally, though, I would have tried to get more. But if they couldn't, okay, it is what it is. So I understand it from Chicago's standpoint. This is not really about Chicago. Because I think Chicago is really taking a step back, not forward anyway. But this is about the New York Knicks. This makes the Knicks better immediately. It makes them a playoff team instantaneously, barring health issues. They just got to stay healthy. But if they stay healthy, this is a playoff team. They got a weird big three, but it's a big three nonetheless. Porzingis, Carmelo, and Rose. A weird big three, but a big three nonetheless. Now there's talk of bringing in Joakim Noah. Okay. He's an active player who plays center. He's very active. But I like the move that Phil made because Phil could not wait for no rebuilding project. Because again, the Knicks didn't have draft picks. And to rebuild, you need draft picks. The Knicks didn't have that because they squandered those assets making dumb moves like trading for Andre Bargnani, giving up a number 1 pick for Andre Bargnani. See, it's moves like that that sets franchises back. You just cannot make dumb moves like that. Okay? So, I understand what Phil is trying to do here. You take a shot in the dark and see. I mean, listen, does this make them better or on the level of Cleveland? No. Even with Joakim Noah, they're not on the level of Cleveland. But this does put them in the level of teams like Toronto. It puts them in the level of teams like Indiana, Miami. It puts them on that level. But Cleveland still would be the cream of the crop. But it was a trade that I felt the Knicks had to make nonetheless. I mean, unless you was going to get another point guard like a Rajon Rondo or something like that, then Derrick Rose was a move that you just had to make. And I think it's going to work out here in New York for the both of them, the Rose and the Knicks. Now, will he ever be that MVP Rose that we saw back in 2011? Don't know, doubt it. But he is still very good. And at least it's a massive upgrade over what the Knicks had before. And I'm going to go and make a prediction, barring injuries. This is a playoff team next year. I want to thank you for watching another segment of Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Take care.